to the show and we'll fly. Yeah. You don't have to feel like you're on your own. No one should have to dance alone, not tonight. For somebody to make memories in a bank forever in time. There's no reason to be hard to find, 'cause we've already lost our mind. You and me, we're gonna write a little history. You and me, just show me love and then you'll see.
I've lost the window.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a stream where Thomas has lost the window. I'm here, though. I am ready to go. That's the important thing. And what are we doing? We're doing a little bit of mini RPG of the week. Of course, Thomas, it's our first time actually casting this together. You've been their production side. I've died at sea while you've been here. And now we actually get to do it together. It's lovely.
It is lovely, although rather disturbingly, your mouth movement on the stream that I see is different than your actual voice. So that's really off-putting.
No, that's how streaming works. It is a couple of seconds
I know,
delayed,
I get that.
Okay?
I get that.
You think someone who... Now I understand why your production side just always goes so horribly wrong. Like you just don't quite get it, Thomas, do you?
No, not even remotely. Not even a little bit. I'm amazed. So many jokes to be had there, but we won't delve in any deeper. Yeah, no, it's lovely to be back. I sent you a message like 2 months ago because I watched you cast this on your own one day.
Yeah.
And I was like, Noah looks like he needs a friend. I'll send him a message. I'll be like, hey, if you ever need someone, like if you're on your own, just send me a message. I'll come and cast. I might even do production. It'll be fun. And then you had me on 3 times. And you weren't here.
And I'll do it again. It'll work out great. And of course, yeah, I'm doing production today, so it's your chance to make jokes at my expense instead of the other way around. And we are heading to a classic week of mini RPG of the week, so nothing that can go too horribly wrong, at least production side. That means 15 minutes of warm-up and a classic little mini RPG of the week style track by Mr. Bigloos, who has produced quite a few tracks for us here in the past as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what we have this time.
Yeah, it was good to get the document ahead of time. Normally, I get it midway through the opening. That being said,
that's how you know that I'm away.
That being said, I haven't read it, so it was, it's not like that was useful information.
So my pass across to you to throw and like, hey, we can talk about what the notes we've gotten was useless, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I read a little bit. Apparently, there were maybe cuts, but not anymore.
Okay, good. Which usually means potentially a little bit of a kind of open style map that, you know, players might try and break a little bit. I think it was last time we had the Mr. Bigloos map that things were... it was when C-Phil managed to find that full rewrite on it, which was really enjoyable. And as Mr. Bigloos said, was fun to watch, but, you know, you want to try and avoid that kind of thing as a mapper as well. It's maybe not ideal. It is also going to be set in the void. We are leaving the stadium behind for this one, so Mr. Bigloos mapping there for the first time, so a different kind of change of scenery for the map, but maybe still kind of a similar mapping style. We'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, it's glad that the map's taking place in my mental health. I've been playing a lot of old school RuneScape recently, recapping the good old days when I didn't have responsibilities or a job. No, I did see the Void. That looks really fun. One thing I really want one day is for someone to do a map that the whole point is reroutes. It's just a load of checkpoints. You just find it out.
Would you believe we have already done that on Mini RPG of the Week?
Now you're calling me out for not watching every single week. Ever.
I'm just letting you know.
Was it fun? Did it work?
It was really enjoyable, and there was a couple of different mixes of routes on it as well. It was a lot of fun on that one, and we are live onto the map, floating in the sky, 2 big hoops in the background as well, and other than that, just focusing in completely on the map.
Yeah, this is fun. The Void's a lot lighter than I was expecting.
Yeah, I was also kind of expecting, when I hear the word Void, I'm like, hey, looks, I'm expecting the fully black, like, background, just, deep space vibes. But no, here we are, hanging out just in a nice blue sky, and 15 minutes to discover this one. We'll try and get into a GPS nice and quickly, but before we do, let's jump on board with Phil, who's sitting motionless at the line. This is my cue to try and find this GPS, all right? Using my keyboard. Is it backwards?
All right, here we go. Is it backwards?
I don't think so. What's my reset key on keyboard? All right, I got this. I'll find it.
Do you reckon it's GPS in fake?
I've just learned to read, and I reckon that might be it. I reckon that might be it. All right, here we go. On board with Mr. Bigloo, seeing how things shake out. Multiple cards on the GPS, Cloud 1 and Cloud 2 to chase down.
Yep, glad we haven't got all the way down to Cloud 9. That would be a rather huge Trackmania esports revelation if Jack and his many millions had swept in. But no, just Cloud 1 and Cloud 2, the Thing 1 and Thing 2 of the Cloud universe. This looks fun. Yeah, this looks... I mean, dare I say, not the most RPG of mini RPG. It does... It's more of just a good track.
Heavily transitional, and I mean, lots of this reuse of this middle of the track quarter pipe as well, and I can imagine that's probably where some of the issues on rewriting potentially were coming through originally, so we'll see how that runs as well. I'll say, I think this is still fairly mini RPG vibes, I think people would get very upset if this showed up in Cup of the Day.
Yeah, although people get upset in Cup of the Day if it's not like campaign AO1. They're like, what do you mean I have to learn a track? There's technique, there's skill. This isn't for me. I get upset when there's ice.
I
just refuse to play. Yeah, I just refuse. Ice is RNG. That's my hot take. That's my hot take.
Well, that's a very, very hot take indeed. I don't think that's true, really, in the slightest. But you know what? Still a very disliked surface, and not a surface that we see in mini RPG all that often. It's mappers definitely when you're looking to do this very tight transitional style that is kind of most common in mini RPG. It's a very hard surface to actually fit in. And with that said, they still love a bit of plastic. They still love to make it hard to catch your wheels under you on these ones, and that makes sense, right? Rewarding players who can land well, who can keep the car in a straight line on landing. It's a bit of a skill check there.
Yeah, what they say about plastic? It's fantastic. And yeah, I actually love plastic. So I never understood the community beef with plastic. Maybe I'm just not good enough to really optimize, and I feel like plastic is one of the services that feels much more like a normal racing game. Which is when I'm at my most comfortable in Trackmania. Give me grass, give me dirt, give me plastic. Get no ice, obviously. And I'm in metal.
I feel like it's very like classic arcade racer in that card goes sideways very easily and you accelerate really, really fast back up to top speeds. That is very kind of PS1 era arcade racer. It's
that type of one where every run is very different, but it still kind of comes out at the same speed, at least for me in Cup of the Day when it's heavily plastic or grass. And then that's what I find really enjoyable. And then when you have the really, really tech ones where you got to master the speed drift and the other more complicated drift. I don't know anything about Trackmania. I know this is a revelation for everyone here, but that's when I get really confused. That's when I'm like, I'm not finding this fun.
Yeah.
Last time we were on here, I think I told Orion about the fact that gears don't exist in my mind.
That's so true, though. Gears are fake news.
They are, because this was the premise, right? How much fun do you have in Trackmania when you're thinking about gears?
Loads.
Well, I don't.
No, that's not entirely true, but equally, I just get skill checked by the existence of gears, so it's not even something I regularly get to think about. So, it's hard to really say.
Yeah, and Babs in the Twitch chat bringing up a good point that when Babs was casting last, I think.
That's true.
He did play the map.
Yeah, so you're going to jump on in there, Thomas. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean,
Oh,
I'm not Babs.
that's true.
You know, Babs
Very
is
few people are.
a Div 1 BIPL player. I am
Uh-huh.
a Div 45 Cup of the Day player.
And those
And
two
there's
things,
a bit of a difference.
I'll go ahead. Those are pretty equivalent.
We've had some games in BIPL, Noah, where I'm like, I think I could have taken third in this one, in Div 1. But no, I think a Div 20, a Div 45 Cup of the Day player that had spent, I don't know, a minute practicing Liberty last week, would have probably won every single round we saw on that map. That was an absolute. Let's not go any deeper into that because I don't want to make the players hate me. But yeah, this one's fun. We had a prediction that so the author time is a 58:44 for those playing along at home, and the mapper reckons a world record of around about a 56. From my experience, it's around about like 3 or 4 seconds from this point on that they tend to find before the end of rounds. So we're looking at 59. So given those 3 seconds, and we might be seeing a world record in the 56. But nice and modest from the mapper. I like a modest mapper.
Yeah, we do occasionally get a mapper coming in saying like, "Ooh, I'd be shocked if they, really managed to push far beyond the author time." And that's kind of, I think, inevitably when a shortcut does get discovered, or when something does get rerouted a little bit. Is like, I have nailed this. This is the perfect map. And Jaxie's in chat there saying that they reckon someone may have found a reroute already. It's the kind of map where things being so open, kind of very minimal scenery around as well. Although the scenery that is there does look absolutely lovely. You kind of feel encouraged if you are the kind of player to look for a reroute who is going to hunt for one, especially, like I keep saying, this section of repeated uses of the quarter pipe in the middle. I think there's a couple of players who are going to be sniffing around there.
Yeah, so fundamentally, I always have this question, right? So when you think about a reroute, or you think about any cheese strategy is a bit unfair in Trapmania because I don't think reroutes are cheese, but in similar video games, you think of cheese strategies. If you're the best in the world, if you're the best in the lobby, there's no point in looking for it, right? You just go mano-y-mano and you just mash people up. And if you see someone doing it, you do it. What level would you have to be in this lobby? Like a consistent top 10?
It's a brave take to say that, if you just see someone doing the reroute, you just do it. Because we've seen some of these reroutes that have been found are, sometimes significantly harder or at least very different from the actual route. And if that gets found and someone spends 5 to 10 minutes practicing it in the warm-up and you don't, it becomes very hard to just do it later on, it's maybe worth spending a little bit of time sniffing around for yourself.
Yeah, I wonder if we can jump on board. We're seeing some good times all of a sudden coming in.
Ooh, Turbo's sitting at the top of the leaderboard there at the moment. I'll
with old LT.
Yeah.
Can't you just click on them in the leaderboard? Does that not work?
It does not. Not at the moment.
Oh.
It does during live rounds, but not so much right
now. So yeah, on board with Lucas Turbo, with a very wide clan tag, all things considered. You wouldn't have thought a clan tag with a letter I in it would be so wide, but the rest of the letters are really doing a lot of heavy lifting here.
Yeah.
Lucas Turbo, not looking for a reroute, just struggling to find the route at the moment. Obviously going for the optimizations. So that is when you see the more common bonks. Just waiting for this person to get remotely further into the map. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah,
I've forgotten what the original route is, to be honest.
I was just going to ask. There's some chatter there about the billboards. Have you enjoyed the billboard so far, Thomas?
So this is going to be one of those things where I am not up to date with anything that's in Trapmania. Right? People use Pepe's. People say Winkay. I don't know what that means. There appears to be a billboard that says Mini RPG of the Week Ultimate.
Uh-huh.
I have a feeling you want to mention something about that.
Oh, not really. I'm just admiring the lovely scenery.
Just admiring the lovely scenery. This isn't related to anything you cryptically messaged me.
Is this not lovely scenery?
That is incredible. That is so good. I would be... Look, is there merch? Is this an announcement that there's merch? What's going on, Noah?
That's a great question, Thomas. Honestly, who could possibly say?
Well, you've heard it here, not first, or at all. Who knows? There might be merch. There might not be merch. There might be an announcement soon. There might not be an announcement soon. There's no way of knowing because I never
There's
get
no
told
way
anything.
of knowing.
No, I never get told anything. I just turn up and produce and
Yeah,
occasionally
that's
talk.
true. Hey, maybe you and everyone else should turn up next week as well.
Next
But like
week,
just in general principles, I think everyone should always turn up for the streams.
8 p.m. Central Time, one might say. Central European Time, obviously, not
Yeah,
American.
exactly. Not American. Yeah, turn up at say 8 p.m. Central American time. We've decided to really go all out and swap time zones, swap continents for Mini RPG of the Week.
Yeah, because we just think that the American market is where we need to be for Trackmania. The French
just
have had
better
it too
players.
long. Yeah. That 10 a.m. cup of the day or that 2 a.m. cup of the day is so fiercely contested.
Listen,
But,
let me know when someone manages to beat Carl Jr.'s record of world championships, and then we'll talk about coming back from North America.
That's true. I don't get that reference, so I'm just gonna power through. I don't know anything about this game.
You know who Carl Jr. is, though, right?
I know he's good. I don't know how good. Historically, I'm assuming the GOAT at this point,
Yeah,
based on the
pretty much.
conversation. All right, fair enough. My GOAT is Wizzy. So that's
so
the only
true.
GOAT I recognize.
Yeah, absolutely. And luckily, that's a very easy name to get right as well.
What name? Sorry, no.
It's Wizzy with a
Wizzy.
w sound
With a
at the
w.
start. W, yeah.
Yeah. It would be in jest to incorrectly say that.
It's so true, and I would never put him in a match with someone whose name started with J, leading to potentially humorous spoonerisms.
No, that would be a joke. You'd be a right jester.
It's true. Because as
yeah.
someone pointed out, it's not just what I actually said that's bad, it's what the entire spoonerism implies. I don't know if you saw that. You know,
that's great.
Like,
Yeah,
a spooner is...
yeah.
Alright, listen, anyone who hasn't seen the clip at this point, I was casting the BIPL last week. There was a player called Wizzy, there was a player called Jorday, they were in the lobby together, I went to announce the players, and I confidently said Jizzy.
You did indeed.
I was very confident. That clip is somewhere north of 800 views.
Yeah, I think it was 850 last time I checked,
Jesus.
and a solid 400 of those are me.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that.
And then,
at
of
least some
course,
people find it
the
fun.
issue with the reverse of that is if you end up saying Jizzy, then it's also Horde, which
Yeah,
it's not ideal.
it's not. I
We
wish we'd have
respect
continued.
women on this channel, Thomas. God damn it!
Yeah, well, apparently not on the BITM channel, so we need to really rein that in.
Yeah.
Because that's where the crime was committed. No, that was a great clip. The best part about that clip is that what you don't hear is me laughing. 'Cause I thought it'd be rude to mute to unmute my mic to laugh at
Very
you.
funny though.
But there's a stutter because I laugh first. So you say it, I immediately laugh. Orion is like, why is Thomas laughing?
Yeah, and then you
he
see it
realizes-
click on Orion's head. Yeah, it's a great clip. Honestly, very
All
very
fine.
entertaining. Bit rough, but hey, we have 2 minutes and a half left here in warm up on Slice of Cloud by Mr. Bigloos, and it's time to focus on Mini RPG of the Week. I've just been sitting on board with Raceland for a while, and partly that's because I've been very focused on explaining myself, and partly it's because we normally see Raceland make an appearance up near, kind of the top 10 by the end of warm up, and at the moment, not really approaching it.
No, a little bit of a ways off. Maybe less French Canadian and more just Canadian. At this point, maybe he'll move to Quebec in the rounds to get that French buff. It's a name I'm familiar with, which is a good indication that they normally do quite well in Mini RPG of the Week. There's like 4 people I know, and this is one of them. We're not seeing tremendously more progress on the sort of absolute best times, but we are seeing everyone in the top 15 now comfortably within a minute, almost all within 59 seconds. We'll give Lupita. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll give Lupita that we'll round that down to 59 and say everyone's within 59 seconds. So more consistency coming out in the best times, but must say not seeing a tremendous amount of consistency in the actual runs.
Yeah, not quite yet. And that is, you kind of mentioned at the start that maybe visually this doesn't feel like the most mini RPG track of all time, but I think very much in how it's kind of playing out for the players here, as you say, the consistency kind of struggling a little bit to be there as well. It's a lot of difficult transitions to nail, and the more you push it, the harder they are. That's kind of going to make the difference in these rounds. It's going to feel like a very difficult track for players to get the most out of, and that's going to lead to some big mistakes, and potentially, as we saw Raceland on that previous round, a lot of respawns and bad respawns, and really struggling to actually just, you know, recover from a mistake over the course of a run too.
There seems to be perhaps not as many hard lockouts. Like, those are always quite frustrating when you see, like, a very, very difficult respawn where a player is literally just out. It does feel like while you are sort of bumbling around and, you know, finding yourself, like here, you know, this is clearly not the optimal line. They are able to sort of make it. This is definitely not the. Can we stay?
Yeah, we have found. I knew it was going to be C-Phil looking for the reroute. I think we all knew it was going to be C-Phil looking for the reroute. And I mean, based on the fact that he is still running it back, I get the feeling C-Phil might feel like he has found one here. We'll have to see during live rounds, or at least during the warm-up round as well, if it plays out, because at the moment C-Phil not sitting within the top 15, so hasn't managed to set a strong time with any kind of reroute at the moment. But we do come to the end of our warm-up, and we'll see how this ends up playing out over the course of it.
Hypothetically, play this out.
Hypothetically.
You find a reroute. You're coming up to the finish. You know you've hit all the finishes. Right?
Yes.
You know you've hit all the... This was not what I was expecting. So, hypothetically, you've hit all the checkpoints. You know you've just got the finish coming up. You're like 10 seconds up, right? Hypothetically. Do you finish that run?
Just to try and keep secret the fact of a reroute from other players?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Yeah, like, there's not really any point at that point, right?
No way.
No, I like.
Surely not.
This feels very optimistic from C-Phil.
Yeah.
This part of this reroute in particular feels like it's going to cause problems. It looks doable, right? But you might need a couple of stabs of that in rounds. It feels so risky for rounds. Bit of a difficult chance getting the speed here as well. This is interesting. Just bear in mind the players are now finishing on other parts of the map. We did see several respawns from C-Phil on this run in particular, and is just kind of driving through slowly. Would have to dodge that tree as well.
Yep.
I'd be interested... That's not where the drag is. I'd be interested to know what the sum of best would be on this route if it finishes. This still very much feels like C-Phil is just looking for something rather than has something fully mapped out, you know?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the exploration. I do like the idea as well that he stumbles upon just pure greatness, and we've just completely doxed it, basically, and shown everyone in round one of the no DNF round. Is it BM to take up like all of the timer on round zero?
Speaking of round zero, how many players are getting eliminated this time, you reckon?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
As we didn't
minimum
even remotely see any of that. Minimum 8. You know what? Is that going to be the same timer for all rounds?
It's sometimes slightly shorter, but I believe it'll be around there, yeah.
Okay, I think we're getting the minimum. I don't think we're getting any more. I think we're
You're getting 8? All right, I'm going to say it's 14. It's going to be tough out there. Listen, we'll get back to C-Phil later on in the round. For now, let's stick on the main route, and then we'll see where C-Phil ends up, because he is going to be all over the place. Artis with a slow start despite the 5th best time on the server. That was a struggle of a sentence to get out for whatever reason, and I'd expect to see Artis climb back up out of these danger spots pretty quickly. Now, with C-Phil going for the reroute as well, absolutely expect to see him bounce in between high spots and low spots very quickly as well. You know, it's going to be very hard to tell where he is about to finish. So if we don't see C-Phil in the elimination at the end of this round, that means there is potentially a successful reroute out there, but we still won't be clear on exactly how fast it is.
Imagine you mess up the reroute and you're like, okay, I'll just do the normal route. You have to like remember where you were. Yeah. And be like, wait, have I done this one? Like the penalty. Did we just see people bonking past us there? The penalty for messing up the reroute is pretty bad. So here we go. In the danger zone, highway 2.
But again, doesn't have to go through some of the checkpoints that the others have. So has to make that's a tough jump to make. And then dropping down here as well. I feel like you can just jump straight down, but maybe too difficult. It's going to be close. We are now a minute 20 into this, which means this has not been quick, and I think we're reaching the point where, yeah, C-Phil might just get eliminated on timer anyway. Let's wait and see if C-Phil does jump out of it at the moment, and we're on board with Siestes at the moment. He's in 68th. and has 20 seconds left to get to the finish line. Is still a decent ways away at the moment and is going to hit a wall. That's going to be Siestas eliminated. I think it's going to be Seaful eliminated as well at this point. Needs to unturtle that car and then, get to the finish line from here. 5 seconds, I think. Maybe can make it. Is that fake finish a viable finish at this point as well? It's going to be so close. Hold.
I have no idea.
Hold. No! Didn't make it.
I appreciate that.
Oh.
At no point did we ever think he actually found a route. But he stayed on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The real
Seafield does think that he found a reroute, but doesn't know if it is faster. Is what he's just said in chat in French. Is that he's found a reroute, but it's unclear whether or not it is actually faster because it was hard to get a clean run on. Maybe something to look at after. We know last time Seafield found a reroute, did get eliminated just outside the top 10, I believe, but did immediately claim world record with the reroute after the competition ended that day. So, maybe keep an eye on what's going on over in the Discord server. But for now, you were correct. Only 8 players eliminated in round 1.
I'm just built different. I just want to acknowledge the fact. Do you also speak French, or is that you guessing what that says in French?
No, I know what he said in French, yes.
Why? You, Babs, what is it?
I mean, my French is not as good as Babs's. Let's be clear on this.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. I don't speak any other languages. I barely speak English. I'm ashamed to my countrymen. Not even a little bit of like Welsh or. Well, enough to because of the excellent
Welsh education system, of course.
Yeah, widely regarded as the worst of all the X amount of nations. I don't know how many in the UK because of the education system. I can apply for a job in Welsh.
Okay.
I can say sort of basic, hello, my name is, I speak Welsh, I like coffee. But that's it. We've really maxed out there. My nephew and my girlfriend's kid are now starting school as 4 or 5 year olds, however old they're. And now they're going to be learning Welsh. And part of me thinks, now's my time.
Yeah.
I can keep up with 4-year-olds in Welsh.
The problem is, you definitely can't. Kids are very quick at learning languages. That's kind of their whole deal, Thomas. I don't know if you've heard this.
That makes a lot of sense. I thought they picked English up pretty quick. I was pretty impressed with that one. I was like, sheesh.
One day I saw this baby could barely even move its head. It looked so stupid, and then all of a sudden, the thing was speaking words.
It went from gaga, baba to, wow, I really think the socio-economic crisis over in the, not going to name a random country, that's not worth a diplomatic incident. And there we go, another 8 eliminated. I don't know if that was the minimum that round, or if...
that was the minimum that round as well. It's until we get below 64, we have 8 eliminations. Not like the early days of Mini RPG of the Week, where it was just 4 eliminations in every round. And I believe we once had an edition of, like, near the maximum 100 players, where we only had the 4 eliminations per round. It was a long evening.
I would say so. We're already viewers at home. Noor and I are already in for the long haul.
Oh yeah,
we've got this. We've then got Cup of the Day, where for some reason I'm a guest.
Because you're very important, Thomas.
Oh, thank you. We'll get to the bottom of that soon. And then, if we haven't had enough of each other by then, tomorrow we've got the final week of BIPL.
Gonna be so good as well, though. I'm looking forward to that final week.
If there was 100... Ooh.
That's just the safe way.
Okay. If there was 100 players in this mini RPG of the week lobby and it was only 4 eliminations around, I'd have had a break. I'd have had to have not done some of these. That would have been perhaps too much Trackmania. We're already at the upper limit.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's not the case. There was a
hang on.
A couple weeks. Ooh.
This is the Swedish versus Norwegian race at the moment going on between Toyota and Monp, and I think Toyota's just about... No, they're both eliminated. Never mind. Continue with your point, Thomas.
Nothing like highlighting the Scandinavians who then bonk out.
Look, if it was, the Norwegian just about eliminating the Swede, there's a bit of spice there, a little bit of intra-Scandinavian drama, but not quite.
Yeah. That is true. But again, only had the minimum amount of people being out.
Yeah,
dare I say,
I'm
an oracle.
I'm a little bit surprised, honestly, because again, like we kind of said, there's a lot of quite difficult transitions on this map to get right. But I guess there are decent safe ways around them. The double respawns are all quite safe. And they're not very, very far back a lot of the time as well. So it feels like players aren't being punished too hard. It's allowing players, even at the back, to manage to finish what is still a relatively long map. You know, the fastest time we have now is 56 seconds, very close to the 57-second mark. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen more players time out. I'm very impressed with this week's Mini RPG of the Week players.
Yeah, well, I just think more of the players. I think they're all very talented, all very skilled. Clearly not looking down on them. Locust Turbo is either really far in the lead,
very far behind at the moment,
or very far behind, and it would appear to be option B. Don't know what's happened here.
Could still catch up. No, it has DNF'd. That's going to make it harder.
Probably not from there.
Yeah,
it's
and
tough
to be fair,
to come back from a DNF.
We'll see where Calva finishes now, but I believe, will still be eliminated in 52nd place, and Turbo would have finished behind Calva anyway, so fair enough. Turbo doesn't lose anything from the DNF. 4 more players gone, but Turbo will fall pretty early on. And despite the fact that, we're saying we're very impressed that we are seeing minimum numbers of players eliminated every round, we have still seen, Artis had a bit of a struggle in an early round, Turbo getting eliminated very early here. It is still a little bit of a challenge to not make the big round-ending mistake.
Yeah, it looks like at the moment we're looking at sort of 16 seconds is safe. So what's that? A couple of resets, 2 bad resets, 3 okay resets. So not a tremendous amount of room for error to be had, particularly for those who are not on that 57 pace. If you're setting times in the later 50s or maybe in the early minute, you really do have to be consistent, and of course consistency will pay off early rounds. But it'll be interesting to see as it progresses when we start seeing that time come further in. We've seen Racelin have a little bit of a bonk, but recover quite well. I feel like the top speed you never really get too fast, so being able to get back to the speed that's required seems fairly simple to do.
Yeah.
Once they get a good run. And
exactly.
You've got
still tight and transitional. Like, you do still need to make sure you have the speed for these minor speed checks, but they are relatively minor speed checks, as you say, and the double respawn there can come in handy. And just pulling the trigger on that double respawn nice and quickly could be important in some of these rounds, especially as we get down to a smaller field.
Yeah, we've seen Color Maestro here, repping the PDF clan tag. Love that. Coming in, gets a snipe. I thought that was.
Yeah, no,
safely
someone respawns. Vortex DNFs a ways down. Yeah. Vortex with the 7th best time on the server is eliminated in that round.
Vortex 7 with the 7th best time in the server.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
Signs of something. Another 7 and you'd have that jackpot in the slot machines.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, not a good run. I'm interested to see where we're seeing the DNFs at the end. I feel like most of the time we get on board with someone who's struggling, they can still nail the ending.
I believe it's on that last kind of quarter pipe jump down into the bowl. We are seeing a decent amount of players over jump it. It's very easy to go a little bit too high and launch the car over the top of that wall. And it's kind of the risk as well, because if you go too low, you are risking bonking into the sign below. So we're seeing players trying to hit that gap in the middle, ending up crashing out over the top, and occasionally just slamming on that DNF button as a result.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the quarter pipes that have risk at both ends. Quite often you'll have one where you obviously, for optimization's sake, you got to go quite low. But if you just want to be safe, you can just absolutely send it, and you're going to be fine. But it's nice to see a one with, you got to thread the needle. You got to find the midpoint. But we're here with Corzo, trying to stay in.
Oh wait, Vortex didn't get eliminated last round. Hang on a second.
Hang
on. Server-side shenanigans happening. Jaxi, unfortunately, had a game crash and will be eliminated. Corzo should still be eliminated. Oxa, Jaxi, Corzo, and Yogg. Vortex remains alive, but that's still a pretty brutal round with, Jaxi and Corzo and Yogg all gone at the same time.
Can you still... Because I think we saw someone, if you just DNF after you finish, it comes up as DNF.
I think it's that... Or you momentarily have like a flicker in your connection to the server, and the server says that, oh, this person has left the server and DNFs you, but you're still there, you still make it through. It's just it's a server side thing, is my understanding. I don't know the details, I gotta tell you.
So you're saying that Trackmania is stopping Acros from being...
Sorry?
Is stopping Acros from being the best mini RPG player of the week, because he would disconnect every round.
Well, the server would still have a log of his time, and he wouldn't actually get eliminated. So, like, that's what it is. It's all it is trolling us on this cast. You know.
I respect that.
Was it IOC that someone got trolled? Was it Babs or someone got trolled by thinking they were eliminated, and then not driving the next round?
Babs,
I can't remember.
Let us know.
Someone confirmed that for me, because I remember that being entertaining.
He's into his chat.
Yeah, that'll do it. Ooh, Raceland struggling a little bit. We did see Raceland struggling during the warm-up as well. Maybe a little bit out of character for Raceland, and is going to just about make it in 39th place. Will snipe Philippe, who had to respawn somewhere near that finish line. Will finish in a 42nd place. Jam will get across the line. No, Philippe still falling down the leaderboard, it looks like. Either way, Raceland sniped out 39th. Maxime and Jam going to be eliminated in this round.
Food-based names.
You're so
arguably
right.
Just one, but we always do. We love food-based names.
Babs,
anyone with a food-based name.
Was there a round in IOC where you forgot to drive or something happened? What happened? I feel like there was a round where someone got trolled by something happening server side and simply did not drive around. Was that IOC? Ooh. Am I thinking of something else? But listen, we'll get confirmation either way in a second. But at the moment, two players from Loading are down in the danger zone. Flo and Dargan, both looking to climb their way out, get away from the red, and back up into the orange, maybe even the yellow, dare I say?
The amber.
Ooh.
The safe zone.
Yeah.
I'm not braking. I was already committed to this traffic light. I don't care what you say, officer zone.
The Richard of York gave battle in vain.
Sure, great reference. Gone over my head. I'm sure the literary or the history nerds are loving it.
Hey Tom, what were the colors of the rainbow there, real quick?
Oh, Roger Biff, don't worry. It's not as if I'm a graphic designer. Yeah.
To be fair, I would be worried if you were a graphic designer and your closest association with color theory was Richard of York gave battle in vain to remember 7 colors.
That's a good point. As a graphic designer, as a millennial graphic designer, color theory is nonsense. I hate it. The only thing is that all graphic designers love the color coral.
That coral's an awful color. I'm sorry.
I will cross these seas. Right?
I'm just telling you, as a consumer, I know what I like, and coral ain't it.
That is. Well, you'll never make it as a graphic designer. No, unless this is, I don't know what you would do in your spare time. So if you are a graphic designer, I do apologize. This is not meant to be a stunning. There we go. That's good. Yeah, no, I think it's just I don't think it's a trope. I think it's because clients love red, right? The clients love red.
Yeah.
Red is the worst color.
Yeah. Very hard to put in anything without overpowering everything. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, and then if you do anything red, white, and blue, then it's every flag in the world. So
True.
it's not ideal. So we like to soften it. You know, you can go the pink end, go a little bit coral. We can go the orange end and go. Although to be fair, either side of red is. Anyway, this is too deep in how color works. We've got some more close running.
Yep.
We're seeing times nearing the single digits for cutoff, which is a good sign that things are getting not necessarily optimized, but a lot more consistent. Haven't seen a big time out of anyone too recently. We are seeing 56s for the 2 best times at the moment. But here we go. Double digits for the cutoff still, but next round probably would assume to see that single digits. We've got some people coming in still fairly late. I haven't seen anyone trying to keep the reroute dream alive.
No, it was Seafill and Seafill alone. And again, didn't really manage to test that one to destruction. From what we saw, but a couple of very difficult tricks would have had to be pulled off in terms of just trying to land and not turtle the car. World record viable strats, but not really feeling like, rounds viable strats in that one. We did get confirmation from Babs that yes, there was a case during, I believe it was IOC, where the server had told him that he was out. So he put down his controller, went to turn on the stream, and just saw his car sitting there on the start line. Great.
That's
just a great moment.
That is
absolutely fantastic.
The best one of that will, no matter whatever happens in the rest of my Trapmania production career, will be the duplicate time that we had in BIPL last week. where whoever it was, two of them both had the same time. There was some gloating going on in the chat, and then someone said, "Oh wait, lol."
Yeah.
And then we cut to the beginning of the next round, and Hendo is fucking stoic. He's not moving. He thinks we paused.
So literally a banger moment as well. Very, very good.
Up there.
Sorry, just while we were there, Area, who currently is the best time on the server, did find himself in a little bit of trouble there. Was behind by a few seconds from last place, but has climbed back up and is very safe this round, but it's going to be very close to the finish line. Goal, yes! By less than a tenth will beat out Pun Pun at the end. And Darrigan takes 29th. Niall, NL Firas Peace. Yep. And Specular will be behind them as well. That was a close battle to the finish line. You said, we were getting down into kind of single digits from first to 10th. We're now down to tenths between kind of safe and not at this point as well. It is getting very intense.
Yeah, that was close. I love a good close finish, especially in mini RPG of the week, because you're like, oh, you're building it up, and you never know if 3 people ahead of reset.
Yeah, exactly.
So all this is for naught. So it's always fun to get the hype up, having so many people in the server. But we are seeing more consistency. I'm going to start a petition for Trapmania to give the French players access to more skins.
Yes. Do you know what? I actually agree with you. We need a French away and a French alt kit as well. There are just too many French skins. Like, there are so many French skins on track right now.
Imagine the hype if they partnered with PSG and made a PSG skin. You know what I mean?
Honestly?
Free ideas. I'm giving Nadio free ideas. It won't be the first time, but I'm giving Nadio free ideas, and I think they should pick this one up.
Would be kind of sick, to be honest. Like, just having branded national, like, alt skins as, like, a way of monetizing the game that doesn't force the players to pay for it. You sell advertising space on alt jerseys for the car.
That would be good, especially if it was major brands of that country.
Yeah,
but I mean, like,
for the car game, you don't just have to do it. Like, it would divide the nation. No. I'm not saying players have to pay for the skin. I'm saying that you sell the advertising space on the skin. Okay?
No, I think what he's saying,
it's not a forced one. Like, it's just like, because there's also stuff like, League of Legends have done their collabs with like Gucci or whatever, where like you had a skin designed by Gucci designers was the selling point and stuff. And sure, they were selling that, but like, it's just advertisement.
I think the issue here is I said the French should have access to a PSG skin, and I appear to have upset the French.
See, I'm not football headed enough to understand that.
No, because they're under the illusion that there's more teams in France. But let's just start beef for the French. Why not?
I think the French should have a Macron branded skin.
No, the French should have a skin which is their normal car skin, but it's just wearing a yellow vest.
Oh, that's honestly, I kind of love it.
That's good.
That's good.
Nadio, you have my number. You have my email address. You have my payment details. Just send me the money. Send me half the revenue.
You've upset BMX in chat. He's so upset about the PSG skin that he can no longer drive the track. It's a disaster.
Oh no! I'm so sorry. Someone made a really good joke earlier, by the way. Imagine having red and blue in your main design colors, and then they just put the hex codes for pure red and pure blue, and I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, you guys are creating inter-France wars like if we didn't have enough already. Imagine the British skins. Imagine the chaos that would cause.
Oh dear, yeah. You know what I like using? I like using Color Brewer, a tool which lets me select colors for graphs that are colorblind friendly.
That's good. I just have a flatmate that's colorblind, so I just send him my work if I'm worried about it.
That's a pretty good tool.
Yeah. Or I just do the graphic designer hack. You just make everything in sort of orange and blue.
Yeah, there's a very specific shade of green, which is 1B9E77 hex code. And a very specific shade of kind of reddish orange that's D95F02. And it makes lovely graphs with those two colors. Because
that's
they're like,
lovely to hear.
They're just like a little bit off from like, normal ones. They feel very professional. Nice, cool, muted colors while still being very distinct.
Yeah, here's the hexacode hack. This one's for free. If there's an F or a 0 in your hex code, grow up. It's not for you. It's too bright. Don't abuse my monitor. Like, this has got a shelf life. I don't want you to throw all the light at me for 1 pixel. right? Just tone it down.
What if mine
Tone it
has an
down.
F and a 0 next to it? Like next to each other in it.
Look, Noah.
It's a
we'll
very,
be having words.
it's a very like red. It's like nearly the color of the Trackmania dirt, but like a little bit more vibrant.
Okay, I might say that's orange.
Yeah,
Friends.
that's what I said. It's a slightly more reddish orange. You know, like it's
Okay.
orange with a little bit of like artist has thrown a little bit of red and black in there just to mute it.
That makes sense. For those of you playing along at home, feel free to tweet Noah your favorite hex codes.
Please do. You know.
Yeah, just be sure to do that. I once had a client insist. This is just me complaining about the tales of being a graphic designer. I once had a client
when did we get down to the top 15? By the way, I've been so absorbed in the conversation. We have an entire like 2 hours of podcast to get through, and here we are chatting about hex codes, and I'm like, oh, god damn, the competition is still on.
The Liquipedia page only cares about the top 10, so I only care about the top 10.
Oh,
That's all I have to
Thomas,
say.
the rewrite is confirmed. Cphil has said it is faster than the way that it is. Cphil, is that a confirmation that you have driven a better time than anyone has on the server at the moment?
A 56.8 is what you got to beat, homie.
56.8, the current best time on server. Or at least near to it.
Screenshot, send a screenshot. Holy
Jesus.
smokes.
A
What?
52-7 with a respawn in there. Yeah, all right. If you'd managed to find out, I would also like to know how rounds viable do you think it would have been? With like, because I felt like a lot of the reroutes that you were attempting were very kind of like, you need to not land on your roof. Sounds tough.
I don't like that name. You guys know what that name stands for?
What?
The Nabla guys found it.
What does NABLA stand for?
I'll tell you after the stream now.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, so we will see, Phil, if you can somehow get us a screenshot confirmation of that would be sick. We'll definitely, I think we should do an after show.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing enough today. Where we just watch the world record, because that seems, where you can tweet at a Thomas Davis. And I don't mean tweet at any Thomas Davis. I mean, my Twitter handle is a Thomas Davis. That's kind of the joke. It's good. You laughed.
I've been through this so many times. I'm not a difficult person to make laugh.
That's a good point. That is a good point. But,
see, Phil, don't tell them the reroute. They'll patch it out. Okay, hide it. Hide it from the admins.
So how long do they get to set world records on these things? Is it a week, or do the maps?
It's just that they're open. They stick around on Trackmania Exchange afterwards as well, and then of course, come the end of the season, we will be doing what we always do, which is having a grand finale where we play the 5 best maps from the season as voted on by the community at that point, with usually a little bit of a cash prize in a weekend tournament after a TimeAttack phase for qualification. So, you know.
That's not related to the thing.
It is not related to the thing, no. The fact that my face is looming large over this racetrack. You can see it there in the middle of the screen.
Got so many questions, Noah. Why are all of our conversations going to be broadcasted today, Noah? We've got so many questions. Right, so we are in the top 10. Technically, we're in the top 11.
Yeah, this round, the player who finishes 10th makes the Liquipedia page. The player who finishes last will be eliminated in the same round, but will not make it. And we are seeing a couple of brutal crashes at the back there. We'll see when we get to the next checkpoint who it is who's fallen down. It's Enos down in 11th place. And 11th place by over 2 seconds at this point.
That is true. Babs has asked a very cryptic question. Which is, Noah, what IRL sports are you interested in? Is this a reference to... Am I the only one who doesn't know, Noah?
No, this is a reference to the fact that Babs is desperately trying to write down some quiz questions for us for later on. I would say I am interested in F1. The problem is I'm one of those people where I bounce around between interests quite a lot. So, like, you know, I've watched a bit of competitive climbing stuff recently.
Sorry, no, interrupt.
Oh, you're right.
4.2, Man's Relay 4.7. It's a Drag Race the Line, but Inos Sony Backwards has got it. And the battle for the Liquipedia page, Skies and Art, in a Twitch channel where we spoke about an above-average amount of graphic design, will not be making the Liquipedia page, and that is devastating to see. But good performance. An 11th is good, and now we go for the second most important prestigious reward for tonight.
Yeah.
Which is who actually wins.
Listen, we're focusing up, Thomas. I'm in on it now, okay? Here we go.
You're in the
This
zone.
is the big one. There is actually an intermediate prize that you've forgotten to mention there, which is that over on the TM News Discord server, they do announce the top 4 from this competition along with many other competitions. So there is an intermediate prize. Listen, I don't make the rules, okay?
What's that medal? Bronze, the gold, silver, bronze,
Iron?
iron? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can only
that's
assume
a
it's your
few
league
clips
rank.
there as well. Who is it who's actually dropped down? Once again, waiting to see for the checkpoint. Another clip as well. It's Enos. It's Liker. Same club on that one. Is it red-blue? It's red-blue colors anyway. And it's going to be Goliath as well, dropping behind a little bit. That's already just due to Enos catching back up at this point. Liker is a long way down, but Goliath very much in the mix. If anyone makes a mistake at the finish line here, if anyone overjumps on this wall, they could be in a lot of trouble. Looks like everyone's safe. Goliath might have more speed than Socrates as well, though. It's going to come down to the line. Goliath will catch and beat out Socrates by just over a tenth.
That was intense. That was a high jump.
Yeah.
That
Went
paid
quite
off.
high, just managed to land near perfectly, carried a lot of speed down the hill, and Socrates went a little bit lower. It came in a little bit slower as well. So close rounds here, and this is our last round of 2 eliminations too. And we've seen mistakes, not necessarily on this part, although there is one from Goliath, as I said. This next jump has caused a couple of issues as well through the rounds, and the following one as we enter that middle of the track quarter pipe for the first time has been the source of a few problems for players. At the moment, Goliath, the only player still around, I misjudged how close we were to the quarter pipe. This is the one I was talking about, but everyone's going to make it through cleanly for now. And Goliath's mistake, really not all that punishing, and is managing to gain back a little bit as we go.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm quite delayed on this stream because you are.
On the Discord stream.
Yeah. We'll
I was completely lying about where we were on the track. Don't worry about that, okay? We are just going into the drop down now. We have the first players through this last checkpoint, heading into the quarter pipe, over the quarter pipe, landing in the quarter pipe goes Artis. Goliath lands now, and unfortunately for Goliath, not going to manage to climb back up. Enos has just been sniped out by Helsinka as well. And Thomas, we are setting up for a legitimately incredible kind of last 5 rounds here. Last 4 rounds that we have at this point.
Yeah, we've seen a couple touches, a couple of bonks, not a tremendous amount of resets, and all top 5 there, I believe, covered in less than a second at the line. So, yeah, we're in for some good running. Marius, a name you'll know and love. Artis, a name you'll know and love. Neko Jim, a name you'll know and love. These other 2, new to me. Not saying they're new to the top 3 normally. I'm sure they're great. But new to me / I just forgot about who they are. So we are on board with Helsinka. It has taken the lead, a nice early lead. Lots of different lines that we're still seeing them run. Flow TM has found themselves at the back of the pack. We'll have to make up 7 tenths, 8 tenths now on the rest of the field. But that is quite easy to be found as there's lots of rooms here for error. Neko Jim. That's a big move.
That's a big bong. Neko Jim over 2 seconds by. Needs a mistake from another player at this point. Helsinka got close to making one on the checkpoint there as well, but is alive for the time being. There's really only one place that mistake can come. It'll be in this last bowl of a quarter pipe jump as well. Artis leads the way from Marius, from Helsinka. Flows high, but is going to be safely through nonetheless. Clean enough to make it to the finish. Neko Jim is DNF'd behind as well, and we have a top 4 locked in. I just wanted to tab out, and I checked as well because I thought I knew something. I was right, I do know something as well, which is specifically that Marius is one of the most winning players of all time in Mini RPG of the Week. 6 wins lifetime in what is now 70 editions. This is the 70th edition of Mini RPG of the Week. Has yet to win in Season 3, and this is, of course, Edition 20 of Season 3. So Marius looking to finally get on the scoreboard for Season 3. Flo has made an early mistake, and Helsinka, Marius, and Artis, they're looking relatively safe for the time being.
Yeah, Marius in a bit of a drought for Season 3, hoping that the flow of water will get him out of that. No worries, I'm here a week. Yeah, we are seeing flow quite a bit back, so we will stay on board with the top 3, see if any of these guys will make a mistake again. Still seeing a wide variety of lines. Players just going what they're comfortable with. It's still just consistency. We're not seeing anyone really get beaten on raw pace, while they are still blanketed by about a second. But Marius now back of the top 3, but no need to panic. Still got a solid 8 tenths to a second gap behind him. Everything looking pretty good from here on out. Can't see then mess up the core pipe. I am slightly delayed, so who knows, I might be just talking into the void. But no, we see the top 3 all come home fairly well, and that will be your top 3 of Helsinki, Artis, and Marius. But good news for Flow, they get posted in the TM News Discord for some reason.
Absolutely huge moment for Flo. A well-deserved moment in the spotlight there, and it isn't exciting. Then top 3, Artis has won twice already in Season 3. I may be missing Week 19 there, but honestly, who even knows at this point? It has been very impressive from Artis this season as well. And Helsinki, I don't know if they even have a win. They do. They have one win all the way back in Season 1 at some point.
So this is the Mini RPG of the Week boomers.
Edition 7 Helsinki 1 of Mini RPG of the Week. So Marius looking to defend his title against 2 players who each have 1 or 2 to their name. And at the moment, it's Helsinki struggling a little bit, is a little bit behind him. From what we saw at the end as well, Helsinki had the worst line through that quarter pipe at the last. Marius with a very low jump in that ending, which maybe means Helsinki needs to build up a little bit of a gap now. And unfortunately, still in 3rd place. A couple of turns to go, it's over. Helsinki jumps too far to the right, is gone. Artis and Marius just need to keep it safe to the end here. Artis will go very high, Marius a bit lower again. Keep an eye on that for our final round. Marius is a lot quicker through that end, but Artis will take spot 1. Marius will take spot 2. That's the lineup for our finals.
Yep, and I've just realized Twitch is about 2 seconds ahead for me than your Discord stream, so we will be casting off of that. Who knows?
How does that happen?
Look, the Discord stream codec does weird and wonderful things, none of which are good. But as Nua was mentioning, Artis versus Marius. Marius looking to save himself from this drought. Artis just looking to get another win in their pocket. And immediately, Artis has come out to a slight lead. Very different lines here through the dirt. One more central, the other taking a much wider line. But it's come out about even, so it is all going to be down to the transitions later on. It's going to be down to if anyone makes an error. And is that a touch?
It looked like it might have been 1, but no, Artis has survived. Marius a little bit lower on the jump as well. That should be good to gain back half a tenth maybe, but the drift so tight. Marius exits quicker, more speed. Artis lower on the jump though, managing to hold on by less than a car length. Marius though continuing to hold that speed. It's going to come down to the last jump. It was always going to come down to this last jump. You could feel it. We've been impressed with Marius on it so far. Expect Artis to go high. Expect Marius to stay lower. Artis will land higher and Marius streaks away in that final turn to enough of a lead. It's just under 2 tenths to pick up his first win of Season 3. Marius back on the scoreboard in Mini RPG of the Week, Season 3, Episode 20.
With a PB in the final match-winning round. Gotta respect that. Peak.
You gotta respect
when
it.
you peak.
Yeah.
That was incredible to see. There's nothing I enjoy more than a match being decided by a very close round.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely ideal, and it did feel, hey, it's a track that Marius can shine on to, right? Like, it just has everything he loves, you know, kind of the ability to drive, if not safely, and I'll say it, I think he was kind of less safe than anyone else in the top 5 on that final jump, went a lot lower and gained a lot of speed, you know, a couple of tenths in the finish in that final round, and that was kind of consistent over previous rounds as well. But overall, just a very consistent week from Marius. Never really saw him down near the elimination zone, carried it all the way through into a finals, and ultimately picked up the win off the back of making less mistakes and still driving really good times. 3rd best time on the server, as you say, with that PB in the final round.
Yeah, great times at the end. Could not have asked to peak any better, but great times sort of throughout. You know, we didn't see that sort of early. I've had it previously where someone sets just an outrageous time super early on, and then no one gets close to it ever again. That sort of high 56 does seem to be the barrier for at least rounds. Obviously, time will tell how the normal route will do in the world record, but I don't know if we're able to get it up, Nua. I have a feeling we might be seeing a pretty interesting route.
Absolutely not a chance that I'm capable of getting it up. I think we have to be very clear on that right now. Hang on. We'll have a quick look here to see if we can have a look at the reroute, but I'm going to tell you now, I don't think so.
Has anyone got the clip of Nua there saying there's absolutely no way he's going to be able to get it up?
Oh, I can't believe you've done this. Okay, I'm not going to be capable of finding that, which means that that's it for Mini RPG the week 20 of Season 3. It's actually crazy. Like, it hit me there, as I said, this is the 70th week of Mini RPG of the Week nearly in a row. I think there's been one or two very small breaks here or there for Christmas or, holidays, but that's about it. We have been running for well over a year and a half at this point. No, approaching a year and a half. And it's been great every step of the way. We've had people like you, Thomas, join us, and thank you very much for joining us this week as well.
No worries. Every series needs its low moments, and I'm glad to be able to provide those while you're at the bottom of the ocean.
Thomas, I reckon you could jump a shark with absolutely no problems whatsoever. Thank you as well to Mr. Bigloos, who did not jump the shark and forced the players to jump a lot of very difficult gaps in this week's map. It definitely was a bit of a treat for us here. And that cut, well, it may be patched out, but in the meantime, go off, find the world record, and have a look at it. As C-Phil has demonstrated, it is very quick for the time being. We are always on the lookout for more mappers for Mini RPG of the Week. And we promise we won't always force you to put pictures of ourselves in hoodies that say Mini RPG of the Week on the billboards. Although no promises. Who knows? It may happen again at some point in the future. And with that said, you should all definitely tune back in next week as well, because it's just a good idea. And until then, thanks very much for being here, and we'll see you then.
Watch Cup of the Day.
Also, watch Cup of the Day. Yeah. It'll be great.
Half an hour.
If you haven't heard enough about hex codes already, head on over to British Irish TM and watch Cup of the Day. It's in a little while. It's whenever we get ourselves over there and they get us set up. See you soon.
We gon' make you move. We gon' make you lose. We gon' make you move. So